What's going on? I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at the markets, and I'm excited that me and my private members will be looking at the markets, for the past few weeks. And it's exciting to just see us going from taking some losses here and there, to be able to just experience wins overall. But the most important thing is how we trade, how we analyze, and also how we execute those trades that we have analyzed, and some of the information that we are going to be sharing in today's video. One thing that I need from you is to make sure that you have liked this video, and as well subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell, because this way you are going to be finding the best value that you can get on YouTube. Are we all doing well? I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, I'm just trying. Good morning. Perfect. Okay, I was just trying to actually get this sorted with, but let me just go to share my screen because I wanted to. There we go. I wanted to just sort out, because it looked like my video is not showing, so I just wanted to play around with it and see. But I can see, yeah, we already. I just want to do this real quick. Okay. I hope you guys can see this. I hope you guys can see this, yeah? So just confirm if you can see it with me. Just confirm, please. Just confirm if you can see my screen. You can see perfectly, okay? So what will happen is that we will be looking at, obviously the market, but one thing that I want us to do is not to just look at the market, but as well to focus a bit more on how can we capitalize whenever the market goes up or down. So for now, I'm looking at US 500. I've been looking at US 500 since the morning started, and I understand that the previous week, let me just come back down. Yeah, the previous week we managed to have went up with it, but I still see this level going all the way up until here, which is our actual take profits on the 4 hours. So within these two candlesticks, these are two 4-hour candlesticks, which means that 8 hours each, and they just impulsed upwards, and we can see what followed next year is a young correction. It was a corrective phase, but it happened to have moved in it's a corrective correction that showed us that there's a way forward in terms of us being able to just buy on this. So when I go to as low as the 1 hour, one thing that I picked up from it is I can see this being the impulse, the correction, and followed by the impulse. So what I mean by that is something literally like the impulse correction, which is this leg of momentum, and then boom, the next impulse. That's what I'm seeing going on here. So when the candle is going to be ready, we can't really know or be too sure, but one thing that I like to see is after 6 hours, that's when we are ready to start implementing entries on it. And I can see here already 6 to 8 hours has passed, so it means that now we are good to be able to implement these methods that I'm seeing. Okay, so that's one thing that I like about it. Now we'll be implementing these. So what happens is that I went to as low as 30 minutes to just let it guide me through, because this is already a trade that we are in. I am already in this trade. We shared this as a signal, so we are already in this trade. Okay, we are already in this trade. So what happens is that we bought as soon as price closed above here. My reason of buying was as soon as price closed above here, that's what we bought. And yeah, it did go up, we're still in profits, but we're not, it didn't close. If it closed here, I would have said a long time ago that let's lock in profits, but it didn't close. It went up and then it went all the way down. So it's still, obviously it's a Monday, the market is a bit rocky, it can do whatever that it wants, so we just have to manage it. And the smartest thing that we can do, so for now I can see that we already have our stop loss here, which is safe, which is very safe, but we can as well adjust our stop loss and put them somewhere around these levels here. But it will just be something that we'll be looking at as the market progresses, because what can happen is that the market can take us out and still continue in our direction. But I'm looking to at least put my stop loss here instead of going home with all of this negatives. If it happens to go against me, I'd rather go home with this one specific negative. So that's why I say that, okay, it's more on also you as a person, like, you know, are you comfortable with going all, like, holding this all the way down, and seeing it go to your stop loss, or are you, because for me, the reason behind that is because of the fact that I wasn't expecting all of these movements to happen. Okay, when the market pushes upwards, I am not expecting it to come back down and do this. In fact, I should even be out at this time, because this shouldn't happen whenever I'm in a trade. You understand? When that happens, like, I start to not be too comfortable, you know, and yeah, so I just want to enter. The market should impulse, close, impulse, and just continue going upwards. That's how normally when I trade, that's one thing that I'm looking for. I'm looking for just exactly that. So that's my management. I'll look to have my stop loss be placed here, but even if that doesn't happen and this candle closes below this line that I have here, no matter what, if it closes below, I'll just take an early stop loss, and I'll wait for a better entry, because it's still Monday. There could be a lot of opportunity in the markets. I mean, the market can still come, test the air like how it did now, test the air and then go back up, which it can still be another entry, but I don't want us to hold losses too long. That's the most important thing. We don't want to be holding losses too long, and the risk compared to reward on it 4%, which is fair. So US 500 is looking beautiful. Fortunately, we're already in on this trade, so we'll just wait for, let me just go in 15 minutes to see what's happening on the smaller. Okay, 15 minutes. We'll just, you see how this candle came up and closed. I don't want such big candles to be closing on me, especially when I'm in a trade. I don't want this to happen. So let's just see within the next 15 minutes. Let's see how this candlestick is gonna close, because if this candlestick also gives us this bearish official, guys, some things in the markets you don't have to fight with. But yeah, so what happened is that I also took another re-entry right here after I saw this candlestick, which makes perfect sense for me, because first touch, second touch is here, and third touch, and with this third touch I saw this candlestick confirmation. So I took a re-entry somewhere around here, and you know, I know even with this re-entry, no matter what, like, my stop loss is gonna be somewhere here. So it's not like I'm gonna be risking a lot with this re-entry. It's not like my stop loss is here anymore. I'm looking at just adjusting and putting my stops somewhere around these levels. But let me just come back down to the 30. We'll just let the 30 minutes guide us into what's followed next, because if this happens to close at least above this area here, let me have this down like this. If this happens to close above here, then guys, we are buying more. There's a lot of buying power. If this just closes above here, then, you know, we can continue going all the way upwards with it. You understand? So those are ways that we will go with the US 500. Okay, so I've flagged the J blue to show that we have saw a beautiful trade on it. Okay, so US 30. Yes, 30 right here. So this one here, remember the previous week we actually missed out on this beautiful sell because we did execute. So that's what I'm saying, like, in terms of even now that buy that we have, we can sell. Like, let's say the last week we took a sell, it went up, it took us out with literally just these weeks, and then boom, it went all the way down. We missed out on a 5.4%. So even if we took this trade and it hit us that 1%, and then we came back again, and we now, after that second trade that we took it, we made 5.4%. We're already in profits by 4.4%, which is ahead massively. You understand? So those are ways that you need to trade or look at the markets instead of wanting to make those that money like immediately. Normally it doesn't happen that way. You'd have to at least invest, like, you know, some time into it, and, you know, invest some negatives, if I may say it that way. Okay, so now let me just do this, show you guys what I'm seeing right here on Dow Jones. Okay, we had this pattern which broke out. This was a retest, went a bit more to the upside. So currently now we are here, we are now at resistance here, and what can happen is that obviously price can just break above here. Let me just remove this to make it newer structure. Price can just break above here, like how you seeing here. How you seeing here, price already broke, gave us a young break to the upside, and like now we are like literally retesting this area. So what could happen now is like price giving us an entry whereby we can go a bit more to the upside with it. So I'm on the 60 minutes, 69 instead of 60. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing. So let me just come here, clean this up. So resistance price literally closed above, but you know, from here we can also start taking buys on this. I'm looking actually to buy on this, and we can maybe come all the way up to, let me just have this, yeah, can come all the way up to this area right here. How many pips is it? So our trade on it will be more like this. Stop loss, most of you guys will be comfortable with this, which is safe, but you know, depending on if I'm very active on the markets, like I'm looking at the charts, I'm more likely to have a stop loss like this, just so I can have a big return reward name. Okay, so there's also a trade that I'm looking at, so let me just go into seeing how we can go about entering this. So entering this, yes, currently we are just, let me just see this 15-minute candlestick, how it closed. Okay, we closed with the bullish, so it's safe for us to actually enter right here. But what sucks is that it's almost similar to the same as that other one, what do you call it, as it's almost similar to US 500. So find out that if you are making negatives on US 500, there's a higher chance that, like, you know, you can experience some negatives. You understand? So that's just also some of the ways that you need to look at it. Like, you need to be able to be comfortable with the fact that it's one market exposure. So if you're making profits on this side, obviously on that side it means that you're gonna make profits. But if you're making negatives, there's a higher chance that you'll be making negatives on the other side too. Okay, sorry, so I just I think this is a trade that I'm gonna commit to. Have it be right here, stop loss be right here. It's still a risk entry, and the reason I say it's a risk entry is because of the fact that, you know, we are now entering via just this 15-minute candle on like right here. But you know, truly speaking, we need to just wait for, like, you know, those 30 minutes to confirm with us 1 hour. But we are now entering a bit earlier. That's why I say it's risky, because it can take us out, but you know, the reward is actually looking good. So even if it takes us out, we can still make profit from the rewards of it. And with this one here, we're still running. Let me see the 15-minute how we closed, because this is actually a running trade. We sent this as a signal, so it's running. So you can see a 15-minute, okay, like how I did say that I was waiting for candles to close this way or that way, but the way that it closed now, it's comfortable, it's safe, because it's still within this area, and it closed to bullish. So I think with this one here, for now I'll just leave it. But the one thing that I'm gonna do is that I'll just tell all the members that we need to now adjust our stop loss, right? Move our stop loss to here, move our stop loss right here, move our stop loss. Okay, let me just do this, stop. So what happens is that even if it takes us out, it's okay. We will get another entry when it's ready. Like, it's that type of situation, because I don't want to hold a negative for long, if I may put it that way. I'm not comfortable with holding negatives for long. That's just my way of trading. I'd rather take a stop loss real quick, be done with that trade, compared to, you know, holding it for a very long time frame, and afterwards find out that it took you out on negatives, you know. So let me just update the site real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So rather protect, or make sure that you are taking as minimum loss as possible, while we are looking into taking as much profits as possible. Because what I mean is that we can take the small loss, but find out that it's just going to retest, and then when it goes back up, when we enter, what are we going to make from it? Back. Okay, let me see this one here. US 30 as well. You know, this makes perfect sense. If it doesn't obey, then it does its own things. It means that maybe prices just wants to go down, but I'm not looking for those sells. I'm looking to continue going up, because it showed me how, you know, but obviously it's a man that can just play around, but it showed me, you know, how serious it is. Okay, so this is the previous week on, what is it, on US 100. So for now, I'm not gonna really touch too much on US 100, because I'm not seeing anything interesting besides like the fact that we are approaching this area, and price can still push up a few more, price can still just push a bit more to the upside just so it reaches like these areas. But the previous week we actually went took an entry somewhere around here within structures, and then we went all the way opposite. Then you can see I was like, I went out here. So this way I actually went out on the trade that I ran. But after I was actually doing some back testing. The reason I have this is because I was doing back testing to just see the mistakes that I done, because I done a mistake which I went out early because I just wanted to call it a day. I wanted to say I'm done today. So I went out here, like I bought somewhere here, I bought at the support, I bought here when price was breaking out. So I went all the way upwards with it, all the way. And as soon as it was here, instead of, because I thought it was resistance, instead of like putting my stop loss below and letting it run, I instead took profits exactly here. So but price afterwards continued to go all the way upwards, which was a mistake. In general, I was supposed to be out at least somewhere around here, because when I was doing my back testing on the smaller time frame, like this way I would have adjusted my stop loss and would have made potential more profits. But it's okay, we learn from it. Luckily I done all the back testing that needs to be done. Okay, so with GBP JPY as well, I was looking at awesome trade opportunities on it. What's happening now is that we are now in this beautiful phase here. Let me just do this right here. So we are now in this beautiful phase, and I can simply see that with how the price is moving, how the market is moving, we at our first touch here, we experienced our second touches here, and as well now at our third touches. So I was maybe thinking that GBP would give us like something more like this coming all the way down here and price pushing all the way down. But before that happens, we need to be able to just know why it's happening that way. Okay, so let's just see if there's anything that supports that. So on the 1 hour right here, what I see is obviously this 1 hour candlestick that's now coming back impulsively, but I wouldn't say that price is ready or price will be showing us anything moving forward. For now, the only thing that we can do is to literally just wait for price to just break below here and as well break below here. But once we see price breaking below and finding resistance somewhere here, that's when we are more likely to take the sell, because when we take the sell, we understand that the risk compared to reward on it is going to be much more perfect. Like we'll be able to have your 30 pip stop loss, because that way we have like an area whereby we can call like a stop level. But as well, one thing that I like is that our first take profit will be looking at 8%, and our overall take profit will be looking at close to a 13%. But I'm more likely to go with this 8% stop loss. Even if it's 45 pips, we can still play with it, but I'm more likely to have a tighter stop loss because of the fact that this is the resistance and price mustn't go above resistance, Jonathan. So those are things that I'm looking at. That is GBP JPY. And in terms of buy, on GBP JPY, I haven't got any clear buying structure. But you know how the market is. The market can easily just start going all the way upwards, and if that happens, obviously we just need to prepare for it. And the ways that we can prepare for that is let me just come here, boom boom. The ways that we can actually prepare for that is if we can literally just have this area, which you can see it's not really as solid, because here we had resistance, price broke out, but it came back once again within structure. So as much as I can say something, it's not too clean, it's not the cleanest setup ever, but we can always work with it. We can always work with it. Okay, so one person just asked me, let me just see what's happening here with JJ. So right here we are so this is the trade and USD US 500. You see now when prices like this, guys, no matter even if like how I did, we moved our stop loss, but look at what the risk compared to reward is. Find out that your stop loss is, you're only gonna lose, like, let's say for instance maybe $60, if that is like what you're losing, but the amount of capital that you're gonna be making, it's gonna be obviously 6 times more than that, which means that you'll be looking at least $360 plus. Do you get that? Those are ways that we trade, those are ways that we actually see this. So even if that we do happen to start off by taking a negative, it's a normal thing, we are used to it, and we will just have to scale in from there. Because I remember even with me, like I started off taking like multiple losses like in a row, bit by bit, and some losses obviously when I take some trades sometimes like I wouldn't share them because I understand that for me I'm much more of a riskier trader. So some people would be like, oh no, because like I'll be entering a trade that literally needs like a 11 pip stop loss. Do you get that? And as much as it's 11 pips, it can hit me stop loss within a second. I can enter now and hit me a stop loss now. So if you're not like me in terms of emotionally, you're not like me, you are gonna say what you're gonna start like seeing the negatives and starting to think that like we just losing every trade that we take. But I know for sure that I can lose 3 trades, 5 trades on just like I can take this 3 times while I'm taking one same stop loss. But that one trade that's gonna go well, look at the 6.9. It's gonna give me, even if I take 3 losses, I'll still be in profits for more than like 4%. You understand? But that's I did say that this thing is not for everyone. So we try to also, when we send out signals, to send out like the ones that have like that are like more on like bigger time frame, 30 minutes, 1 hours, 50 minutes at the most minimum. But with us, when we execute trades, especially when I'm just more active on the markets, on the chart, like me just sitting and being active by myself, I'll be very aggressive. Not aggressive in a way of risking, but aggressive in a way of I know what I'm doing. Like I know what I want in the market. So, and it's my risk. At the end of the day, if it's my risk, I'm losing my own money. I'm taking my own risk. So I don't have to think about oh, what if this actually doesn't do this, and this person's gonna go through this. No, it's more on me. It hurts me. If it doesn't go well, I lose my money. So this is a trade that we took now. Let me just make sure that this is actually sent out in the team, because I actually executed this as well. But one member also asked that we look at, what is it? We look at GBP JPY. I think that is one thing that we can look at, and then we can call it a session. Okay. So we can look at GBP JPY. Let me just okay, let me just do this real quick. Make sure that we send in this in the team, because I actually executed this trade. So, but on Mondays I like going simple, because I don't want to go hard and like let my week be ruined just by Monday, or already imagine you bring your accounts on Mondays, which is not safe. On Mondays I like taking it like it's very slow and nicely, like even if I can just like make like the most minimum. The fact that I started off positive, it means something, so I like using that. Okay, so we did see, we saw this and this, we already have a trade on this and this, so this is we haven't got a trade yet. I'll just put this purple to show that we are flagged it, we are waiting. So let me just take a look at GBP USD. It's been a while, guys, so yeah, so we traded boom and crash. Now I've never really traded boom and crash, so I have no information about it. Okay, so GBP USD, let us now take a look at it, starting off with daily, since it's been a while since I looked at it. Starting off with the daily. So what am I seeing? Okay, perfect, there we go, there we go. All this looks dope. On the daily time frame, I can see where we at now. We are like on previous daily highs, which is right here. So okay, so because you can see here, the last way here was like literally last month, 14 December. That's the last time we're on these highs. So let me just see, for hour, we are now at the resistance basically, which is not safe to be wanting to commit to maybe a buy, because one thing that I'm seeing here is, okay, I can have this, or I can just scale it and have it, somewhere between here. Perfect, just like this. Okay. So I can see price pushed upwards and started moving upwards, but in a lack of momentum way. So maybe price can start to go all the way to the downside because of the fact that, let me just come here. It's not the cleanest, but because of the fact that this is an ascending type pattern. But with this ascending type pattern, what we'll need is, it's not enough information to just make a decision out of this. What we'll need more is let me just do this, show you guys here. Have this area here. Okay. And maybe on the 4 hour, once you have price break below here and correct a bit and then go down, that's where you can commit to a sell, because your take profit is going to be all the way down to here. Let me just do this. your take profit, your first take profit is going to be all the way down to here. So let's see how many pips you're looking at. You're looking at potentially 228 pips, which is a lot. You can make this, you can secure profits, so even with 60 pips you can still go down with it. So how I'll take this, not how I'm gonna be taking, how I would take this is, obviously you can see such fears like GBP JPY, like, you know, how they move is not really too safe or too okay for me. But also just be careful with this, because I can see there's a hammer that has been presented on support. This is a support, there's a hammer, which means that we could be going up. That's why I say that it's not now, we are now in a phase where it's not really perfect for us to buy or sell. But if you have been looking for a buy, obviously if you are looking for a buy, it means that when you are buying, you'd be placing somewhere around here. Your stop loss would be here, and your stop loss would be, it's almost like a sell for when you are looking to sell. I'm not sure if you guys understand me, because what I mean is that if you are looking into selling, then what you'll do is that you'll wait for price to close below, and once it closes below, when it goes and test, that's where you normally just put your sell, and then your stop loss just above here, and your take profit more like this. Okay, more like this. So that's how I would take your GBP USDs, and instead of allowing it to just, like, you know, move up. But you can see what's actually happening here. First touch, second touch, third touch, which means that it can go up, but remember, we are now at daily resistance. So I'm looking at this from the 1 hour, but we are now at daily resistance, which means that it can go up, but if I know that it can take time to break, it doesn't mean that it's gonna take like now or a day to just break through. It can do that, but you know, it normally needs, like, you know, you can use things such as like your economic reports to be able to see if there's news that are gonna be coming out that will impact your GBP USDs into breaking this level much more quicker. But besides that, then you just have to play the waitings game. It'll just be more on the waitings game, because you can see within the last, it's been a long time since we had such big movements. So you know, it'll be a hoping game for you to just join the trend and hope that it goes in your direction or something. Okay, so okay, I can see it's getting a bit more impulsive this side, yeah. So even here we just need to manage it, because what I did say is that, remember, there's a resistance, and here we broke out, but we didn't close cleanly above here. So you can still experience like negatives, it can still go down and hit us out. But what I'm more likely to do is that I won't take a stop loss here. What I'm more likely to do is, obviously, just let me just do this. What I'm more likely to do is, once it closes up below here, I'm more likely to just take stop loss as early as possible, because already if it closes below, it's showing me that there's a chance. But even if it goes down and then it tests somewhere around here, I'll buy again and then go back up with it, and I'll manage it that way, because though that's the most profitable way that I can trade, cutting losses very, very, very short, but also making sure that I maximize my my returns, making sure that my returns are going to be way more than my stop losses. Okay, let me just take a look at, one member just asked me to look at USD CHF, and I think this can be the last pair that we can close it off. We can just look at this and then we can call it a session after here. Okay, USD CHF. Ooh, this doesn't look clean. I don't like it. It's like one of the reasons, like, you know, I haven't really been paying too much attention on your currencies because of this. Like, look at how this thing is moving. Look at this. Imagine you sell or you buy, you've been holding a buy for like 5 days, you're in profits, and then boom, and then now it does this. Or you sell, you've been holding a sell profits, and then it takes you out, and then it takes you in, and these are days. Remember, this is daily, so it's not the cleanest chart to trade. It's very volatile, no clear movement. Look at this. It broke the low, so you think that it's now committing to a sell. It broke the low, but it also breaks a high, and you think it's committing to a high because this is a lower high, so it breaks the lower high, so you're like, oh, now we are buying. Then it goes within structure, then it goes up, then you think it's committing to a buy, then it breaks the low, then it goes up. It's moving in a much more funky way. So with this, it's not the cleanest chart that I would be looking at, but the first thing that I'll do is to just put myself in this phase. So I'll just tell myself that I'm in a corrective phase, and let me just trade it as a corrective phase. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll easily just have this, and obviously with this be my first touch, second touch, that touches somewhere around here, so I'm more likely to just have this be here. And when this is like this, I'm just looking for price to just break below here on the 60-minute, go all the way down to here, and from there I can just see this, and maybe I can just continue this messed up chart trend that we're in. So, but what I mean by that is 60-minute, let's just see. Yeah, like on the 60-minute I can see we already experienced some confirmations. Right here I can see on the 60-minute we had this area be our support. Right here, boom, support. So this is more likely to be resistance. Stop loss 22 pips. Okay, it's okay. Take profit right here. This is a good setup that I can take, but yeah, it's messy. I don't like being involved in this. I don't know if after I enter this what's gonna happen. Am I gonna see this, or am I gonna see the clean move to the downside? Because at the end, strategy is a strategy, and a strategy gets to be employed on specific charts. Find out that my strategy doesn't work here because I don't hold trades for long. Some people, they'll sell. Then maybe it goes against them, then they're holding because their strategy allows them to hold. But for me, it doesn't allow me. My one allows me to take stop loss very quick, to cut losses short. But I think we can call it a session as long as we saw it now. The one thing that we can do is to just take it easy on this Monday morning, and as well be able to just manage those trades that we have running here on US 13 as well, US 500. And once we've got that done, we'll be able to just see how we can grow. And because one thing that I like is that this is the most cleanest chart that allows us more potential. Like, look at how this thing dropped here. Boom, look at this, very easy and straightforward. We're expecting that same move all the way up. In fact, this is my first take for profit. I'm expecting that move all the way up to here. So that's why I say there's a lot of potential. Even if this takes me out, I'll look for another entry up until I find a better entry. Because that one entry that I find going all the way up, so that it's the one that's gonna make our week. So we have to just be patient on this. Okay. But I thank you guys so much for putting through and joining me on this beautiful session. I hope you guys did get to enjoy some of these trades that we looked at, and as well as you happen to have found some valuable information. And here we'll just continue to communicate within the private group.